So welcome. If you aren't aware of what this is the general meeting for the projects team. Uh, Basically, this is a new program created by Night Hacks so that new members can start working on their first big project. But the benefit is that you guys get to work on it with a group of people. That way it's easier for you guys. And actually, a group project is really, really good on your resume. So if you're looking for the future to apply for an internship, especially if you guys are freshmen and sophomores, now's a really good time to put a group project on your resume. And it'll really, really boost your potential to get an interview. Um, with that said, it's also a really good way to learn new stuff. Uh, I know, like, whenever I want to learn a new technology, I just make a very, very simple project. And then once I have an understanding of how to use that technology, I make a slightly bigger project and then another slightly bigger one. And that way you gain knowledge on how to use the technology, whether it's for web development, it being React and Node. I did what's called native Android development a while back ago. So that was basically just pure Java. And yeah, and for that, you just make very, very small mobile projects and work yourself up. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be a really great, what's it called, really good program for new members. And yeah, so we're initially going to initially assign teams that are going to be well balanced. And what that means is that we're going to, if you guys haven't already, we did send out a questionnaire asking for your interest and what you know and what you would like to do. And with that, we're going to try to group teams by interest as well as knowledge and based on skill. That way that teams will generally have a consensus on what they want to do, but not all of the skilled people are going to be in the same group. That way each group has an equal chance of being able to complete their project because not all of the technical skills are concentrated into one group. And that's what we're going to be trying to avoid, just having like one super group and then a bunch of like not so skilled other groups. Another thing to note, even though we're going to be assigning you guys teams, they're not permanent. We're going to be able to change them if you have an issue with them. Just bring it to the attention of me or Dima, and we'll try to work it out as best as we can. And if you haven't already, fill out our questionnaire. It's going to be what we use to be able to group you guys effectively. I'll give you guys the link real quick. Actually, Dima, can you post it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. That's going to be sent to you guys in a minute. Again, I know we have some new people here. So if you haven't filled out that questionnaire, fill it out, answer it as best as you can. You don't have to give us a whole like essay for the questions. Just give us enough information that we have an idea of what you know and what you're interested in doing. That way we can group you guys appropriately. Yeah, Dima just sent it. So again, new members, please fill that out. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is just recapping a couple things. Benefits of joining this new program. You're going to be able to work with teammates, meaning that it's going to be easier for you. The project isn't going to be as time consuming. And yeah, you're going to be able to rely on other people, which I know for me, I do mostly solo projects. So if I had someone to rely on, that would be like a godsend for me, because I would just be able to like focus in on a certain part of the project. Another person focuses on another part of the project. And by the end of it, you guys are going to have a complete project, hopefully. Um, Another luxury is that you're going to be able to receive help from others. Again, me and Dima are going to be frequently available. Uh, and yeah, it's also, again, as mentioned, it's a good addition to your resume. Um, yeah. As for expectations, the only thing you really have to do is come up with an idea that's reasonable and try to make progress on it each week ish. I know you guys have probably have tough schedules, but when I say make progress, I mean just even a minuscule amount of progress is fine. It's not as long as you guys haven't just completely given up on it, if that makes sense. And I think I forgot to mention something on the other slide. Don't feel like you guys have a time crunch on this. You can really take as long as you want. If you want this to last for half a semester, semester and a half, you guys can technically take as long as you want, as long as you think you're going to be able to finish eventually, if that makes sense. Okay. I think that's everything I wanted to mention for these two slides. Dima, you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. This slide is about the plan. What are we gonna do after this meeting? So we are still receiving applications because we want to get as many participants as it is possible. And by the end of the weekend, we will have all the teams formed based on the preferences of people, based on the people's academic standing, skill set, and then at the end of the week we will create Discord channels, both text and voice, and add each of the team participants to their private channels. What are we expecting from you is to for now, just think of project ideas which you can do, and after the teams will be assigned, we will have our next meeting the same time, 6 p.m. Wednesday next week. And before that, you should come up with some idea and make some abstract little plan of how you're gonna do it. What we expect to see in this plan is how the responsibilities are shared in your group, and what is the structure of your project. So like how will you start working, which features you want to add, and so on. It shouldn't be too specific, just like some abstract plan, which each group should tell us on the next meeting. Yeah, and after that, we will have weekly or bi-weekly meetings. We haven't decided yet. On the same time, checking on the progress and trying to help you guys to achieve your goals and create those projects.
If I can just point out one thing on that, for the voice channels, I know some people might not be too familiar with Discord, but you are going to be able to share your screens. So you're going to be able to collaborate very well with your projects. You guys have a bug, you can share your screen, walk through it with your teammates. And I feel like it's going to be a reasonably good solution to this remote situation. Obviously, you know, if this was in person, you guys would probably be able to like sit next to each other and look over a person's shoulder at their computer, but that's not really possible right now. So Discord is basically our current alternative. So you're going to be able to share your screen and collaborate with that. And as well, you have a text channel if you want to type anything out and message anybody on your team, or me and Dima, we're going to be able to have access to it. So yeah, that's just something I want to mention.
Thank you, Abraham. I'll move to the next slide. The next slide is about the project categories which you can develop, but you're not limited to this list. It's just the projects which we can help you with because we have experience with them, and they are, I would say, most popular. So you would find many resources online to help you build a project or just get acquainted with some technology. So the first and the main, I guess the most popular nowadays category is web development, and we recommend using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, as everybody does, and React for building the user interface. Also, the technologies applicable for this type of projects is something for backend. I guess very popular preference is now Java and Python, but you can choose whatever you want to. And if you have any issues, you can ask us, and we will give you an advice of which technology should you choose for your exact project. Then mobile development. It has three options now. It's Android native development with Java and Kotlin, iOS native development with Objective-C or Swift, but in this case you will have to have a Mac computer because the development for iOS is only possible on Mac computers. And two cross-platform technologies, React Native and Flutter. You are free to choose whichever you want to, but if I was doing a project with mobile development, I would choose React Native because I've already tried Java, and I know that React Native is a really transferable skill nowadays because it teaches you JavaScript. It mostly teaches you React, which is like the most used library for creating user interfaces in web, and also it is pretty easy to use, and yeah, that's pretty it. After that, we have game development. You can it is possible to make your own games however you like to, but now people tend to make their games using either Unity or Unreal Engine. And our suggestion would be to use Unity because it's more beginner friendly, and it's better for making small projects, which I think you would gonna do. And Unreal Engine is a type of game engine which is mostly used for big projects in big professional teams which have like big budget. I've heard that about people usually use it when they have like $300,000 and over. So we would suggest to use Unity. And another option is AI development with Python mainly and the TensorFlow library. I don't know what's OpenCV, but I think you can also use it. The thing with AI development is that neither me or Abraham doesn't know much about it,
Yeah.
and we cannot really help you with that. We can ask someone from the club to help you, but it's not their responsibility to help you. And if you really want to do a good AI project, we know that AI at UCF is making the same thing. They are forming project teams, and people are working on AI projects there. But if you really want to do AI development, you can do that. Just you won't get that help which you can get if you do web development or mobile development or game development. Of course, this is not the the full list of projects which you can do. Is just most popular categories nowadays, and you are free to choose whichever one you want to. and we'll do our best to help you with that.
Okay. If I can just say, I do see a couple people that are already filled out the questionnaire of people that have some experience with OpenCV, particularly, which is the Vision AI library. We're going to try to group you guys together, we believe. And if you guys do decide to do an AI project, we might decide to do an AI project here specifically. We will try to bring in a specialist, but we cannot guarantee that. But yeah, most likely you guys will be grouped up together though. I just want to mention that.
Also, if some of you really wants to work on a hardware project, we are currently not, we don't have that opportunity, but we are working on it. So I guess in the next semester, we will form more teams, and hopefully by that time, we will be able to do hardware project. So these are the tips for finding an idea or making like a project. The first one is that you should not come up with an idea which is unreasonably complicated. So you shouldn't make up your own Google or CSGO or like something super complicated. You know that this is just a student project which you like. You shouldn't intend to get money off, and you should plan working. Plan a project which you can do with your team and which will not require you like 24/7 coding and studying stuff. You should dedicate to this like sometime a week, but not like if you want to develop a new CS:GO, it will be either long or it will take too much time from you and you'll have problems with studies. The next tip is you should think of how you will implement the basic functionality first and then expand it. So I would say that for me, the best practice was like if I'm creating a project, I'm creating the basis. It's basic functionality, and then if I like something, I just add it. But the main part is to make a good basis. It's like developing a game engine. Game engine is really essential, but with just it, you don't have a game. So the next tip is that you should assign roles and responsibilities to everyone. So you shouldn't have any person in your team who don't have a role, and the work should be split equally, and this will really help you in the future when you'll be working as software engineers, if you want to, of course, and you'll be working in a team. It's like a team building practice. Another, I would say this one is a really essential practice, is to create a GitHub repository for a project in order to, for everyone, for every member of the team to get access to it and to be able to contribute to it. If you don't know what's GitHub, it's okay. There is a link, Abraham. Oh, I can send that.
I think I have it.
We'll send it to the chat. It's a workshop on Git from one of our directors, from Rob, who is a workshop director, and he's explaining how to use Git and how to use GitHub, and it's like really good. And you should definitely watch it if you don't know how to work with Git and GitHub, because it is essential. And the last tip which we can give to you right now is setting frequent milestones for your group, because it serves as a kind of motivation. Like, okay, we got to finish this feature by the end of the week, and you got to work on it. So, and if you don't have the milestone, like a small plan, then your motivation to work is I won't say that it is less, but most of the times you are not as motivated if you have a milestone. If you sorry, you're not as motivated if you don't have a milestones set for the group. So I guess that's pretty it. Abraham, do you have anything to add?
Um, just that you covered a lot of it. Make sure so in the industry, they have a term called MVP, which stands for minimal viable product, which basically means think of the most minimalist thing that's like acceptable for what you're trying to make. And first make that, and then build it out. Another thing, do a lot of planning before your start. For example, when I did my because I did an internship last summer for Android development, and when I did that, I did like a lot of planning. I did wireframes, which, if you don't know, is basically just drawings that show how the app is going to be able to interact. When you click a button, what happens, where does it go to, and stuff like that. I laid out all the different screens that I wanted to be able to show what's on each screen, what components on each screen it's called reactive, and you can touch and interact with. Make sure you have a good idea of what you want to make before you even start, because you'll save so much time doing so. It's really a lot easier to start if you already know what you're doing, instead of just working a little bit and saying, where should I go with this? Right? You're going to be able to save a lot of time, and you might actually, if you go with that, you might actually have to redo a lot of stuff because you realize, oh, I did this wrong, or this is more better way to do this. So in order to stop you guys from falling into that trap, please plan ahead, have an idea of what you want to do, make documentation. Documentation is key, especially in a group project, because you might have an idea of what the project is going to do and what the project is going to have, but maybe one of your teammates doesn't have that exact same information in their head. So being able to write it down where both of you guys can refer to it is key. If I had a recommendation for that, I would say put all that documentation in the README of your GitHub project. That way, both you and your teammates can refer to it, but anyone that looks at your project can refer to it and say, okay, this is exactly what this project is, and this is exactly what this project is going to do. And if you actually do that especially for me and Dima, if that's on your GitHub, we can be able to help you way, way more and faster than if we're just shooting in the dark, asking you a question as, oh, what does this do? And what does that do? So, yeah. For tips, I'll just say, have some form of documentation. It will really help everybody, really. It's a win-win, trust me. I think that's all I have to say for now for tips. Oh, and also we're going to be able to checking up on you. Not next week, but every week after that. So if you guys ever need help, we'll be able to give you more tips and whatnot. But yeah. If we have a friend we would particularly like to work with, can we? What I can say to that is, if both of you say you guys have the same interests and somewhat the same skill set, you guys will likely be grouped up together. So technically, if you wanted to cheat the system, all you have to do is give somewhat the same responses, and you will most likely be grouped together. Again, the groups aren't permanent. You you can switch if you bring the issue to our attention, but we don't want to make too many requests, because if we make a what's it called make an exception for you, we'll probably have to make exceptions for others. But and we really want the groups to be well balanced. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Just if you really want to work with somebody, just make sure you guys have the same interests and relatively same skill set. You guys should be good. Does that answer your question? Okay. I think we can go on.
So that's it for today, and now we can answer all of your questions, like the one with friend. Do you have any other one? Any other questions?
Please ask. We're way under time.
Yeah.
How many people can be on a team? That's depending on how many people actually want to do a project. Currently, we have about 15 members. If we want to split that up, well, that's probably going to be groups of 4 to 5. Yeah, I would say about that. We might have like a group of 3 as like a straggler, but I don't see a way that a group would have 2 members unless they really want to do a very, very niche thing, and nobody else even comes close to being able to want to do that or have like the skill set to do that. But yeah, I would say either a group of 3, a group of 4, or a group of 5.
Do we need to become members before being assigned to a team? No, we are not checking on that. So
well, you don't have to pay dues.
Yeah. But it's the same as being a member. Like it's the what we do is basically the same as workshops. So every person can access it. It's not like voting for a budget of the club, which you have to for which you have to pay dues. No, so if you don't want to pay dues, you don't need to for the projects. But as usual, it's a good thing because you help the club, the development of the club, and you will get a T-shirt. It's a really good one. I guess I really want to get it, but they didn't send it yet. So I've seen it and I really want to get it. So if you want the t-shirt for just $10, you can pay the use and you will receive it.
Nighthacks does ask you to fill out a questionnaire for new members. That's really the only requirement I think that's required for you to really be able to attend. Is just fill out the questionnaire that takes like maybe like 3 to 5 minutes. And that just gives Nighthacks an idea of like how many people are in the club, how many people are attending, how many people like they need to interact with. Yeah, that's really all you need to do to be considered a member. But no, you don't have to pay dues unless you want to contribute or vote. If we're unfamiliar with programming language, do you have any good website that will teach the basics of that programming language? That's a good one. I would say the best way to get good at a language is to just do practice problems in that language. So I would say For me, I would do leak codes, maybe like easy leak code questions in a particular language. This is assuming that you know at least one language good enough and you're trying to learn another one. First, try doing it in the language that you do know, and then see if you can replicate it in the language that you're trying to learn. But if you're unfamiliar with any language and you're trying to learn a first one, it might be a little bit tricky, especially if you haven't taken a class yet. And for that, I would say um, you should just learn JavaScript. It's a really easy one. It's one that a lot of people can learn very quickly. And it's very useful for a lot of web dev projects, especially if you want to make something with React. But like, can you say like, if you give like more information that's like if you already have one, if you already know one, and like which one you're trying to learn, I can give you like more specific information. But yeah, that's what I can say in general. I would say that works for me. I don't know if it works for everyone though.
If it doesn't work for you, we can provide you with the resources, the good ones, for learning that language or that particular technology. If it is not a super weird technology like maybe F sharp, you probably don't know what it is. But if someone knows and wants to use it, we cannot help with it. It's a functional programming, and like it's not very popular.
It says he's trying to learn Java. Um, yeah, Java. Wait, do you already know one, or is this you're trying to learn your first one?
I think if he's taken OLB, he knows C. He is taking Intro to C.
Oh, you already know C. Um, for free resources, I think Code Academy has a decent Java like crash course. Other than that, um, for object oriented, hmm, really, the thing with multiple programming languages is that they're all sort of basically the same, except for like object oriented, which you just really need to learn a few concepts. And for that, I think Code Academy might cover it, but I'm not sure. But again, you can just literally just watch a video on YouTube and be able to like get it pretty well. Like, um, what's it called? I think Free Code Bootcamp might have a good couple Java tutorials, but I'm not really sure. You would have to look on that on your own time. But I'm sure there's a lot of free resources on YouTube and
I
maybe
love
on code
I love the tutorials point one.
tutorials point one.
Yeah, and
Mm.
it's the website, like I guess it's spelled tutorials point something like that, and there are many tutorials there, and I love it. I usually like if I need to learn something new, I go there, especially about Java and C, I guess,
Yeah.
and Geeks
So I
for
guess
Geeks
you could
also.
check that out. Yeah, no problem, Nicholas. Make sure you filled out the survey and yeah, have a good day. Are there any other questions people may be having? Again, if you can't think of one right now, you can always message me or Dima on the Discord. Uh, we should have our names in gold if that makes it easier. We should also be under like the directors like grouping if you need to find us quickly on the Discord. But yeah, unless Harold, you're back.
Hello. You can
Uh,
continue. I'm sorry.
yeah. Sorry, we're just wrapping up questions. Yeah, so if you can't think of one right now, you can always ask us on the Discord. But does anybody have any last minute questions of maybe what? Let's see.
So I don't know if any new people joined since I was here at the beginning, but keep an eye on announcements. Check the link tree. Come out to our events. Tomorrow we have our quantum computing workshop. Friday we have the Netflix party social at 8 p.m. And then Saturday we have our Killing the Coding interview. It's interview preparation with our host Arjun. And then we have our operation meeting at 4 p.m. if you want to contribute to kind of like hacks, help organize and operate it. All right. Thank you guys.
See you guys.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.